The people of Uganda, wherever you are, and thank you for whatever you do, most especially those who are in the captivity in the Psalm 7 and are trying to fight to make sure that we free our souls. Today I want to speak about an issue that I find that you must know. From Psalm 7 over time, and he's published, they keep talking about the number of roads, the kilometers, the dams, the megawatts of electricity being produced. But when you look around, you actually see no value for money. You see people don't have power, they cannot afford it, roads with the potholes, and then you say, why is that Mr. 7 every time he's talking about the roads? Today I want to tell you that through those projects, Mr. 7 and his group use them to rob the people of Uganda. What one would call corruption. But this is broad day robbery. You will be amazed by the figures I'm going to tell you, that we use their own figures to do the calculation. For example, two dams, Karuma and Ibimba Dam, were estimated to give us produce 780 megawatts of electricity at a cost per megawatt $2.8 million US, and the total would be $2.2 billion taxpayers' money, and most of these monies are loans that you guys we shall all pay. A dam in Lesotho, another country in Africa, that produces 6,000 megawatts. They constructed it at 4.8 billion. Remember, the Ugandan dams that produce 780 megawatts are at 2.2 billion. The cost of the Lesotho megawatt is 800,000 US dollars. The one of Uganda each is 2.8 million US dollars. Ethiopia has the largest dam in Africa, the Renaissance Dam. This dam was estimated to produce 6,450 megawatts of electricity at a cost of 6.4 billion US dollars, meaning that each megawatt was produced at a cost of 991,000 US dollars. Now let's run the assumptions and you see how these guys cheat you. If Uganda used the costing of Lesotho, and we said let's have our megawatt at a cost of 800,000 US dollars, we would produce 780 megawatts and spend only 624 million US dollars. But we are spending 2.2 million US dollars. If we had used the contractors, or if it was the government doing constructing our dam, they would spend only 624 million dollars. Then we would save. Here, this would save 1.5 billion. Huge money. 1.576 billion. Huge amount of money. At that cost, we would have, if we had used all that money, that figure, we would have 2,750 megawatts. If we had used that cost, that money, and said we want to spend the whole of it, the 800,000 US dollars, Uganda in the 2.2 billion that gave us 780, we would have 2,750 megawatts of electricity. Huge amounts of electricity, almost a huge section of Ugandans would have electricity. If we use the cost of the Ethiopians, for the Ethiopians, they cost their megawatt at 991,000 US dollars to produce the 780 Karuma. It would cost taxpayers 777 4,000. Actually, let's say in a nutshell, it would be 777 million US dollars, not 2.2 billion dollars. So we would save 1.4 billion would be saved. If Uganda was constructed a social dam of 6,000 megawatts, it would cost us 17 billion. If we had gone the software way and we said we want a dam of 6,000, the government of Lesotho spent 4.8. The government of Uganda would spend 17 billion. You can see how much money, 12.2 billion US dollars, not Uganda shillings, would be eaten by the men in the yellow cap who masquerade as people in the government, but they are hiding in a sheep's skin. When you see them, you think it's the government, and then we allow them to keep the custody of goats, and then we wonder why we don't have, when we count the goats at the end of the day, and when the numbers have reduced. Ugandans, if Uganda was to construct the United States dam, the one I told you of 6,450 megawatts, which is the largest dam in Africa, we would spend 18 billion US dollars instead of, but the Ethiopians spent 6.4 billion. That would mean if that project was in Uganda, the thieves in the government would eat 11.8 billion. 11.8 billion US dollars. I want to take you on the roads. There is a road called the Entebbe Express Highway, which is a celebrated road. You all know it. This road is 53 kilometers and has 4 lanes. The road cost 476 million US dollars, making each kilometer to cost 9 million US dollars. Kenya constructed thicker highway, 50 kilometers, 8 lanes, for us is 4, at 360. Here this 360 million dollars, Uganda 476. So their cost per unit of the 8 lane was 7.2 million dollars. So if we use the balance, remember our balance that we got from savings, had we used the cost of Ethiopia, we would have another 4-lane highway at a cost of 9 million US dollars, of 174.9 kilometers. The other money that was stolen, 1.5 million, would give us 174.9 kilometers. If you use the balance, government would get, if we had used the costing of the Ethiopia megawatt, which is 1.4 billion US dollars, would have a 4-lane highway of 159 kilometers. 159 kilometers. The other money that was stolen on the dam would have, so 159 kilometers were eaten if you use the Ethiopian costing 174.9 were eaten if we are using the EXOPOSED costing. If we use the thicker highway cost of 8 lane at 7.2 million US dollars per kilometer, the balance of Lesotho, which is 1.5, so we would have 200 kilometers. I'm talking about the balance, the man I told you that was eaten, of 200 kilometers of an 8-lane highway. If Kenyans were given money to spend on the 53 kilometers of 4-lane express highway of 476, the Kenyans would construct 666.1 kilometer if they're given the same money using their cost. They would give you 66, not 53 kilometers, 8-lane highway. 66 using your same figure, they would give you 66 kilometers of 8-lane, not 53 of 4-lane at 7.2 kilometers. Or they will give you 132 kilometers 4-lane highway. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell the people of Uganda, I wrote this article in 2018 and I posted it in the Observer. Those who read can always find it. It is called Why, I named it Why Ugandans Shouldn't Celebrate Museveni's Infrastructure. Observer, October 24th, 2018. So that tells you that most of the kids you see, guys having farms and the like, it is money that is stolen. The reason why we have bad roads, not that good roads cannot be made. The guys who are running this government, this government are thieves, vampires, that you must stop today, not tomorrow. It is the reason that we struggle every day to make sure that we have a better country, to make sure that there is accountability, to make sure that we have better services in terms of roads and dams. I want to say thank you. Wait for me for another video. I propose that you go on YouTube and look for Harold KAIJA official and subscribe and like. You'll see many more of these videos. Thank you.